Hi guys, when CEO forced himself on a college student.
Jungkook's POV. Today, I am late from my part time job and I am afraid I will miss the last bus to my house also. I am a college student and part time a cafe worker because one day I want to open my own cafe in this city and become independent. Today, I have helped my coworker covering in his shift as he promised to cover my shift when I will be working on my assignment next week. Oh no, it started raining. I should run faster. I removed my backpack and covered my head. I arrived at bus stand, but alas, my poor fate, I missed my last bus. It will take about 30 minutes for me to walk back to home. Jungkook is saving money, so taxi is not an option. Then Jungkook started walking back. He is very tired and now just want to sleep in his bed. Suddenly, Jungkook heard a loud sound. He got shocked and he went to opposite side of the road to check what had actually happened. A car crash is what he saw in front of him. There is no one nearby. As it's late at night, he ran to the car. There is a man in driving seat and he is bleeding from his forehead. Jungkook went to his side and opened the door and said, "Hey, are you okay? Wait, I will call ambulance." Jungkook took his phone from his pocket to call ambulance, but his phone's battery is dead. Then he transferred the man to passenger seat with a little difficulty. He learned driving when he turned 18 and now it's helping him in the situation. He started the car and after 5 minutes of driving the person beside him shouted, "Stop the car." I said, "Stop the fucking car." Jungkook got startled, but he focused back and said, "Mister, please, I am taking you to the hospital." "I don't want to go to hospital. I want to go to my house," Taehyung said, who is still bleeding but don't want to get involved into any case. "Okay, take a left from here. That's the way to my house," Taehyung said to Jungkook. Jungkook followed Tae's instructions as the man is looking very angry and stubborn to know to go to the hospital. So Jungkook just decided to drive to his house so the man will be calm. After 15 minutes, they entered the area where all the so-called elite people live in Seoul City. Jungkook, who is first time in the area, is shocked after seeing such high-profile villas and mansions in his life in front of him. The person beside him instructed to enter a specific building which Jungkook followed. As soon as they entered, a row of bodyguards came in front of the car and opened the door of Taehyung's side. They took him inside and then the injured man, which is Taehyung, said something to one of the bodyguard, after which the bodyguard came to get Jungkook. Then Jungkook is escorted into the mansion and a middle-aged woman very politely forced him into one of the rooms for staying for the night as the night is very dark. Jungkook protested but got denied, so he is now in guest room which is very near to Taehyung's room. Accepting his fate, Kook is now sitting on the bed, staring at his dead mobile in his hand and cursing the stupid device. Suddenly, the previous woman came with two more people who put various food in front of him, and the woman said him to eat and rest. The master of the house will talk to him tomorrow. Jungkook, who is very hungry, seeing food very slowly, reached his hand to a dish and started eating as they are rich people. Why will they poison him? Controlling his idiotic thoughts, because now he is thinking from his stomach. After finishing, he dived back again to the soft bed and slowly, very slowly, his eyelashes closed and he fell asleep into that stranger room. In early morning, Taehyung, who got treated with his personal doctor, came to check the guest who helped him previous night. So he entered the guest room. Taehyung is in doubt about Jungkook. Is he really an innocent person, or this is all is a trap to cage him by his enemies and make him stupid? His eyes checked Jungkook's tummy to his face as his t-shirt is pulled up in his sleeve and his cute tummy is in full view to Taehyung's eyes. He very slowly walked to the beauty. Taehyung thought Cook is very beautiful and now he lowers his hand and touched Jungkook's cheek, so soft and pink. He thought his hand caressed it and then he turned on his feet and exited the room slowly and carefully not to wake up Jungkook. A sudden knock disturbed Jungkook's sleep. When he sits up on bed in his half sleep state, servants served him breakfast in bed in his hands. Jungkook, smelling such delicious food, his tummy grumbles. It looks tasty and yummy, he thought after seeing such a wide variety of breakfast in front of him. So, without any care, he ate the breakfast. Then he slides off the bed, weared his slippers, and tried to open the door, but the door is locked. He knocked, and a bodyguard opened the door. The previous woman, probably a maid, came and said to Jungkook, "Sir, do you want to take a view of outside? Master had said he will meet you at evening." Jungkook denied and said he wants to go back to his house, but the maid rejected his words and said pleadingly, "Please cooperate, sir," Master had said. As a peaceful person, he is now dipping his feet into swimming pool on the terrace of the mansion which he found during his mystery hunt of way back to his room, thinking about the handsome man from yesterday night. Is he okay now? Is he fine? Is he hurt? His thoughts wandered, but he saw the dog who barked at him. A Doberman it is, now near Jungkook, and then sniffed Jungkook's hands, and Cook laughed and patted his head and said, "Cute doggo." Now Cook is playing in the garden with the dog, apparently having the name Bam as it is written on its collar. Taehyung's car entered in the mansion, and he heard giggling voices and looked straight to where Jungkook is playing with the dog named Bam. He entered inside and called the staff to make Jungkook meet him at dinner as soon as possible. After 30 minutes, he freshens up and now sitting downstairs on the head table of the dining room. Jungkook entered very slowly with maid. He gestured through his eyes to sit on the chair near him. Jungkook obeyed quickly because this person's aura screamed dominance. "Thank you for yesterday," Taehyung said, making eye contact with Jungkook. "I am Kim Taehyung and a businessman," they introduced. "It's okay, Mr. Kim. I had helped even if anyone else will be in your place," Jungkook replied politely to Taehyung. Taehyung nodded his head and started eating. Also, Jungkook followed without any further words. After dinner, Taehyung is in his room where Jungkook entered after getting permission from Taehyung. Taehyung thought any staff will be there, but it's Jungkook. So he closed his laptop and looked towards Jungkook. He had gathered all information about Jungkook and now Taehyung know Kook is innocent person. Mr. Kim, I want to go back to my house, Jungkook said. Taehyung just stared at him. No reply came.
Jungkook stepped forward as Taehyung is sitting on the sofa. He demanded his freedom back, but again no reply came from Taehyung. Suddenly, he lost his balance while stepping towards Taehyung and fell forward, and Taehyung took hold of his hand and pulled Jungkook on his lap. They can smell Jungkook's fresh scent as Cook had just showered in the guest room when the head maid provided him new clothes. Jungkook became uncomfortable and shouted, leave me, please. No, never, Taehyung said. They had found Jungkook attractive from the first glance, and now, after seeing his smile with the dog and having to eat with him, he will never leave him. Taehyung felt complete in his life. He thought Jungkook is the part he was missing in his whole life. So Jungkook is his. He decided, and his decision is final, and Jungkook will stay with him by hook or crook. Jungkook squirmed on Tae's lap, and Taehyung got hard in his pants. He pushed Jungkook to the sofa, and Jungkook is now laying on his back. And without any thoughts, Taehyung suddenly kissed Jungkook. The kiss is gentle, calculating, coaxing Cook to kiss him back by gently pressing on his lips. But no, Jungkook is pushing his face away, so Tae pulled his hairs and controlled his head. Tae is enjoying the fully soft petal lips. He is feeling hot and just want to rip Cook's cloth. After kissing, he left Cook, who ran for the door while crying. Big drop of tears is falling from his doe eyes and he is very afraid. He tried to pull open the door of the room, but the door is not opening. He knocks and shouts, please open the door, please help me someone, but no response. Taehyung stood up and now standing at Jungkook's backs, very close, very very close. Jungkook got goosebumps and now started shouting for help more. Taehyung put his both hands at the door near Jungkook's head, now caging Jungkook's body between the door and his big bulky body. Jungkook is scared. He don't know what will happen to him now. Bunny, stop shouting. It's no use. And listen to me very clearly. I hate repeating. Taehyung kissed on Cook's ear and said in his deep, husky voice.
Jungkook's movement stopped due to fear of Taehyung. He is listening to what Tae is saying. You will not go anywhere. You will live with me. You are mine now. So as a good bun bun, go back to your room and sleep. Taehyung said, you will not have your phone until you prove to be a good bunny and never think of escaping. I hate it. Saying this, Taehyung unlocked the door from the remote and Jungkook runs fast to the door next and opened it and straight jumped to the bed and covered himself with quilt. He's scared, very very scared. His life had taken a 100-degree turn in just 24 hours. What will now this rich man do to him? Will he now be his mistress? No, he don't want to stay here. He wants to go back. And what if Taehyung again forced himself on Jungkook? He is shivering, thinking that in mid of the June month. While Taehyung smirks, seeing Jungkook running like a good bunny to the room, he opened the camera and watched him under the covers, sleeping. He puts his one finger on his lower lip and rubs it. So sweet, Taehyung thought. He's not fully satisfied with just a kiss. But sooner or later, the little bun will be in his bed. He will be in his arms soon. Next morning, Taehyung is sitting on his chair at dining table and Jungkook is sitting on his lap. When they had knocked on Jungkook's door this morning, Jungkook refuses to open it, so Taehyung opened with spare key. Little Koo, thinking that he is in safe room, but as soon as his files eyes fall on Taehyung entered into his room, he stood up and ran for bathroom, but Taehyung was faster. He pulled Jungkook from his waist and lifted him in his hands. Jungkook's legs are flying and kicking in the air, but Taehyung just took him to downstairs to the breakfast table, and when Jungkook refused to sit down, Taehyung clenched his jaw. So much disappointing he felt. Why he is not listening to him? So he pulled Jungkook's wrist harshly and made him sit on his lap. Cook's eyes are flowing with tears. He didn't understand why this man wanted him. Please leave me alone, he prayed again and again. Taehyung picked a strawberry and placed near Cook's lips and urged him to eat the strawberry. Jungkook obeyed, eating as fast as he can to escape from this man. After breakfast, Taehyung just took his briefcase from a maid and looked at Cook, who is standing with his eyes down. When Taehyung's focus was not on him, he tried to climb stairs, but his bad luck. Bunny, come back. You have a duty to fulfill, Taehyung said, watching Jungkook's back. Jungkook reluctantly came back and Tae held his hand, pulled him to the main door, where his brand new Porsche is waiting for his ride to the office. At gate, Taehyung suddenly engulfed Jungkook in his arms, hugging him so tightly, breathing in his milky scent, sniffing near his neck. He placed a kiss on Jungkook's shoulder, where Cook's t-shirt slipped down. He then cupped Jungkook's cheeks and leaned very close to Cook. Cook can feel his breath. He's trying to kiss me, Jungkook thinks. No, Cook shook his hand and trying to get away from Tae's grips. But no use. Tae leaned forward and forcefully captures Cook's lips with his own. Jungkook's little hands is beating at Tae's chest. He is sobbing and shivering in fear. He doesn't want that. He wants to be away from this man. After satisfying himself, Tae left Cook and caressed his cheek and said, Bunny, be good while I am gone. Also, I look forward to tonight, so be prepared. Tae then kissed Jungkook's forehead. He then left in his car, and Koo, who is embarrassed because the maid also seen him with Tae, left to his room. Cook's mood is not good, but then he heard the dogs barking in the backyard, and now he is standing in the balcony. So he decided to go downstairs. He decided to go and play with Bam and enjoy his day at least until the devil man is back. Bam, as soon as Koo came downstairs, circled Cook and licked his hand and jumped up and down in front of Cook. Cook giggled after having all the attention of this cute doggo on him. He then played in mud with Bam for some time, then went back to the room, took a shower, and jumped on bed to sleep. Last night, due to fear, he didn't sleep, so he felt asleep after hitting the bed today because last night was really very difficult for Jungkook. At night, Taehyung came back home. Entering, first thing he asked is where is Jungkook. The maid replied that he is sleeping and he also hadn't have his dinner yet, as Master Kim had said not to disturb while Jungkook is sleeping. Taehyung hummed and went to his room for freshening up. He then entered Jungkook's room where Jungkook is asleep. Taehyung slowly reached the bed and sat near Jungkook. His hand caressed Cook's hairs. His eyes is taking Cook's beauty. He bends down and placed a kiss on Cook's cute nose. Jungkook scrunched his nose in sleep and turned other side. Taehyung laid down behind Cook. His hands slide and rest on Cook's waist. He then lifts his upper body and kicks Cook's neck slowly. He just wants to come back from office soon today and take Jungkook. Jungkook wakes up when feeling wet kisses on his neck. He panics and sits up on the bed and looked behind. There is Taehyung laying just beside him. He stands up and takes steps backward from Tae. Tae also stands up and keep going closer to Jungkook. Little bunny, come here. Let's have dinner. Tae forwards his hand which Jungkook tries to deny, but one glare from his eye and Koo hesitantly took his hand. After dinner they both climbed up. When Koo tried to open his room gate, then Tae pressed his hand on doorknob and closed it again. He cages Jungkook between his body and door. Did you forget what I said to you at morning? Be prepared. Hmm? Taehyung asked. Jungkook is so nervous and scared. Come on now, be a good bun and let's go to my room, which will be ours from now on, Taehyung said. He took Jungkook's hands and pulled him towards his room forcefully. Entering the room, Taehyung picked a cute nightsuit from his closet, specially arranged for Koo, and gives to Koo for freshening up. Koo escaped towards the bathroom after taking the nightsuit with him. He is uncomfy because the nightsuit have a crop top and a very small booty shorts, and he is scared to come in front of Tae like that. The bastard will surely attack him if he went in front of him looking such hot. He heard Tae's voice calling for him to come out before consequences will turn bad. So Jungkook very slowly opened the door and peeked and then came out. Finally, Tae is standing and his hand have a glass of wine which he sips after checking Cook out from top to bottom. His stare is scaring Koo more. He don't want to be here alone in the room with Tae. Tae stepped toward Koo and breathed near his lips and leaned toward but Cook takes a step back. Tae chuckled in his deep voice and he smirked, then placed down the glass and sat back on the bed. He then pats his thigh and said, Come here, bunny, sit. Jungkook shook his hand. Tae said, I really don't like to repeat myself. Sweetheart, come fast. Taehyung shouts. Jungkook's heart raced. He very slowly went and sat on Tae's lap. His eyes widened because he felt that thing which is like a stone beneath his butt, poking him badly. He panicked and tried to stand up, but Taehyung had caged him in his arms.
Why are you trying so hard? You have to accept whatever I give you, bunny. Stop trying or I will go hard on you. Tae bites on his neck and said. Jungkook sobbed and covered his face with his hands and said, Please, please leave me, Mr. Kim. Please, I don't want to be here. Taehyung's hand is now on Cook's stomach. He is touching him slowly, feeling his soft skin. His cheeks are red due to intoxication from the wine. He pulls Cook into a hug, and Jungkook is now crying pitifully in his arms, sobbing into his chest, wetting his shirt from his tears. Tae's one hand opened up Cook's crop shirt button one by one. Cook tries to stop him, so Tae pulls his both hands in his one big hand. Tae now removed Jungkook's shirt and now Koo is in his inner bra only. He is so open to Taehyung's eyes now. Taehyung suddenly stood with Cook and threw him on the bed. Cook is now on bed with face down crying on the pillow, his back towards Tae. Tae removed his shirt and the sound of belt falling and zip opening is heard to Cook's ears, which panics Jungkook more. He tries to crawl towards the other side, but before that, Taehyung had pulled his ankle in his hand and kissed him there. Should I just break your ankle? Then will you listen to me, Bun Bun? Tell me, you deserve a punishment for being bad, he whispered while kissing Jungkook's leg. Koo feels a deep ache in his chest. He can't protect himself. I am weak. Please, someone save me, he thought. Please, save me. Please, protect me. Please, he shouted suddenly on top of his lungs. And they laughed out loud. Oh my bunny, this room is soundproof and no one will coming to save you even if the herd. They trails upward and said. They pushed his weight on Jungkook's back as Kook is lying on his stomach below Taehyung's body on the bed. His one hand slips below and cups Koo's boobs and squishes it. Koo moaned out. He's having a hard time as Tae is very very heavy. He doesn't want Tae's touch. His insides crawls. Please, please leave me, he whispers to Tae. Taehyung suddenly turns him and kisses him, stopping his cries. His kisses are full of passion, but when Jungkook didn't return it, his blood boiled. He rejected him, Tae thought, so he became rough, very rough with Jungkook. His hand is squeezing all over Cook's body. He is roughly handling him. He is in his boxers shorts only. His hand slips to Cook's back and he opens Cook's bra in one move. Jungkook is squirming below him, trying very hard to free himself from Tae. He freed his one hand and tried to hide his upper body, twisting himself. Ah! Stay put, you little bitch! Tae growls loudly. His anger is on peak. He removed Jungkook's hand from his body forcefully and leans himself below near Jungkook's cleavage and sniffs it. So sweet, he pulls his tongue out and licks him there. Meanwhile, Jungkook still protesting and saying, Mr. Kim, please, I don't want this. I'm not ready. Leave me. When they didn't listen, then Kook shouted, Leave me, you bastard. Get away from me. Stay away from me. They got shocked, but then smirked and said, Baby, no matter how much you try, there is no use. So take it. Take me. Oh, like a good boy. Jungkook's struggle stopped at a point and they had finally taken what he wanted from Jungkook, its body. Now, breathing heavily, they kissed Koo again, who didn't react at all. He is broken and soulless. Taehyung then got up and went to the bathroom. He came back after a few minutes, pulled Jungkook and put him on the couch, changed the sheets and cleaned Koo, then went to sleep with Jungkook in his arms satisfactorily. Next morning, when Jungkook opened his eyes, Taehyung was standing in front of mirror getting ready. Seeing Jungkook awake, he strolled towards bed and leaned to kiss Jungkook on his forehead. Good morning, Bunny. You should take rest today. I will be coming back in evening and we are gonna go to a date, said Taehyung and then left, leaving Jungkook in the room alone. The whole day, Jungkook was in the room. When they came back, he found Jungkook in the same spot. Maids had told him Koo didn't eat anything the whole day. He smiled and went to Jungkook, bent down and kissed his small frame again. He put the shopping bag on Koo's lap and told him to change. When they came back after freshening up, Koo was still sitting and the bags are beside him on the bed. Tae got hyper. His anger is again coming, but he controlled himself for the sake of Jungkook. Why didn't you change? If you don't, I will personally undress you, Tae whispered into Jungkook's ear. Tae has a warning in his tone, but no response came from Jungkook. He is sitting like a statue with no emotions on his face, which is irritating
Tae more. It irritated Tae. He thought if he will threaten him, Jungkook will be scared and obey him. Tae again tried wrapping his fingers on Jungkook's wrist and pulling him, due to which Jungkook's naked thigh reveals, as Jungkook is only wearing Tae's big t-shirt, which Taehyung himself made him wear in the morning. Tae's eyes widened shortly after seeing such harsh mark on Jungkook's skin, but he masks it. Come on, bunny, wear it, he coaxes Jungkook. Jungkook is just in his mind, no reply, no heart, no response. He is not talking to Tae and not replying to him. Taehyung's anger surges again. He left the room, pushing Jungkook back on the bed harshly. Shortly, a maid came and started dressing Koo, who didn't resist at all, who didn't give any single response to the maid also. Maid's eyes showed pity towards Jungkook, but she didn't say anything. Now Taehyung is driving, but his focus is on Jungkook. Taehyung had picked him in his arm and taken to the car because Kook is not moving at all. He entered his car into a luxurious place and opened Jungkook's gate, but when Koo didn't budge, he growled in frustration. He, the watchman is here, it's embarrassing for his image, so he squalled and pulled Jungkook out of car and pushed him to the car's door. He moved closer and whispered in Jungkook's ear as pretending to be his lover. Be good or I will break your fucking legs, boy, Taehyung said. Koo still didn't move, so Tae kissed him roughly there in front of all people and said, move or I'll fuck you right here, bitch. Jungkook shivered and finally got his senses back and slowly nodded his head and decided to obey Tae because he is scared of him. Tae throws the key towards Watchman and held Jungkook's waist and slowly made his way inside. As gentlemanly, he pulled the chair for Koo and made him sit on it. Now taking the seat opposite to Jungkook, he ordered the food for both of them without asking Jungkook's response. He flicked Koo's chin, who was looking down. Koo's eyes widened due to surprise, and Tae smiled seeing his cute expression. But Jungkook again looked down. Tae is feeling something different today. After seeing Jungkook's not so interested look in him or in anything else, he heard a couple laughing at another table. They were looking so in love. He gazed towards Cook. He also wanted to talk to him, smile at him, feel shy when their eyes met. Their food arrived, all Cook's favorite, but he didn't even lift his finger. Taehyung pulled his chair near him and lifted the spoon to make him eat. Koo stared at the spoon, then him, then turned his head away. They can't digest the rejection, so he harshly grabbed Jungkook's face and made him look at him. Tae's eyes are saying, eat. Having no choice, Jungkook took a bite. But then he stood up. He felt like throwing up. He can't handle all this blackmailing. He runs towards the washroom. Tae followed him. He helped Koo washing his face, rubbed his back. Koo collapsed in Tae's arms, totally drained of all his energy. Tae silently carried Cook to the car and pulled his seatbelt. He drove toward their home. Koo's eyes are watching the city lights, his head leaning to the window. The car entered into the villa's premises. Taehyung messaged maids to take Jungkook inside the house. He speed up the car towards a bar and got finally drunk. After 2 hours, he again drove towards his home, but then suddenly his vision got blurred and his car jumped from the bridge and drowned into the river water. Koo was sitting on the bed fearing that the man will come again, that bastard. Suddenly he heard the hustle happening, loud noises. He exited from the room, made his way to the stairs. The old maid approached him and they took him to a car without informing him anything. The car arrived at a hospital. They had survived the accident, but he is hurt. They escorted him into a VIP room where Tae is resting. He opened his eyes and looked into Jungkook's and smiled sadly like his last smile.
and said, I am sorry, please forgive me. Then his eyes closed for forever. Koo freezed. He fainted again. When his eyes opened, a maid approached him and told him about Tae's demise. A man entered. Tae's lawyer told him about Tae's last word for his forgiveness and told him about Tae's will, which is all Jungkook's now. Jungkook refused, but all maids convinced him otherwise. The empire will fall. He overcome his trauma of Taehyung, of all the bad things happened to him, and worked hard, and now successfully the CEO of the Joan Empire. He still resented Taehyung, but sometimes felt bad about Taehyung. This is karma, he thought. The end. Subscribe for more fanfictions. Bye bye, guys.